What is up, guys? Politics Gaming here, and today welcome back to the Federative Republic of Brazil. In the previous episode, basically we kind of hacked into the election in Colombia. There are also major elections in the United States and Uruguay. We did end up losing some territory in the realm of political alignment. So there was a socialist government in Uruguay. However, military force could actually help that. In the United States, Mitch McConnell became the next president of the United States. The next election is in 2028. So very interesting that Mitch McConnell, of all people, is now the United States president that we have to deal with. Let's go ahead and invite him over for a meeting. This will be the first meeting that we have with President McConnell. And we are going to be, and we also have a treasury reserve that we can mess with. So if you actually look over here, we have 325 billion reais of money that we can spend on projects. The biggest thing that we're going to be working on is we're going to be building some housing. We are going to be constructing better insulated housing. We're going to move in on this. So let's go ahead and fully maximize this. We're going to use all the manpower that we can use right now, and we're going to rehabilitate these housing. This will cost 42 billion reais, and once we get that, we're going to move on more projects. We're going to probably do another batch of housing, and we are also going to build some schools. We're going to build some hospitals, and we're going to build just a better Brazil. So we're also going to be spending it on some energy, so that'll be really, really good for us. But because we're using so much manpower on that housing right now, we need to wait a little bit. So I'll see you guys whenever the housing projects are done. All right, and we're going to go to this meeting with the president of Colombia. This is the newly elected president of Colombia, Guillermo Sanles. We're going to offer him a coffee, champagne, love your country. We're going to propose a military alliance with him. We're going to propose first a non-aggression pact that was successful, and we're going to support their country in military endeavors. And we're going to offer or ask that they give us air rights. And can you make an effort on human rights? Oh, actually, I wasn't waiting for him to say, you're a hypocrite. Okay, so we actually made some successful moves there, so we'll actually improve our military relations with that military contract. We're going to ask him to make an effort against global warming, and I actually just noticed something real quick, and I want to see what you guys think. So I noticed that we have the Alzheimer's vaccine, right? If I click on it, Jesus Christ, I have a monopoly on it. So I'm going to go ahead and end this meeting, and I'm going to go over to industry. If I go over to Alzheimer's vaccine, I am making 486 billion reais of sales just off of the Alzheimer's vaccine, and I am making 206 billion reais in profits. If I go over to world, I have a monopoly on production of the Alzheimer's vaccine. No one else is producing it except me. So if you actually look, GDP of activity in the country, 5.78%. It is accounting for 5% of my GDP. Production, 100% of the world's production of the Alzheimer's vaccine. I only consume 1.7% of the Alzheimer's vaccine. I have a trade balance positive of 15 billion reais. I make 486 billion reais of sales, 206 billion in profits. Productivity index is 6.3. My income tax percentage is 13%. Employment, it employs nearly 100,000 people. Imagine if I had nationalized this. Oh my God, I'm gonna nationalize these things now because I didn't know you can make so much money off of this. I believe this is around like 40 to 80 billion dollars of US dollars. Correct me if I'm wrong, my Brazilian friends, but I actually can sign a contract with the Alzheimer's vaccine with the United States off of that alone. Let's go to the next day. I want to see what my relations with Colombia are like after this military contract. And wow, they are now dark green with military relations. Let's go over to Argentina, see what they think about me. I really want to sign a non-aggression pact with them. That way we can get them to like us even more. The more contracts you are able to sign with these guys, the more they will enjoy your presence. So let's go over to not military map. We're going to look at economic map. We're going to see how people like us in South America. The only country that does not like us is Chile. So Ecuador actually is kind of neutral with us, but everyone really likes us economically. Militarily, Colombia is extremely pleased with our presence, and it looks like Paraguay, Argentina, Ecuador, and Suriname or Guyana actually do support us militarily. So economically, this is really, really good that we have really good trade relations with the rest of South America. So what we need to do is that we need to kind of start boosting trade with Chile. If we can start getting trade with Chile to kind of start boosting a little bit, then I think it's going to help us out a little bit more whenever we want to go after them. Let's go over to Argentina, and we are going to offer them foreign exchange program. So let's go ahead and do that, and let's do that as well with Colombia. This will again help our economic relations with these two countries, and let's go ahead and start the seeds of this with Paraguay as well, and Guyana as well. Uruguay refuses the possibility of a partnership for the construction of a highway network, so that is unfortunate, and Argentina agrees to this partnership, so this is really good. And as well, we're going to ask that Colombia joins this network with us so we can start building toward them. Colombia refused our student exchange program. Would be much less than a country that has comparable education system. Same thing with Paraguay. And Guyana actually is the only one that accepted it. Even Argentina was just like, no. So we need to start boosting our education system right now. So that we really, really need to do that. So there's a forest fire in Sao Paulo, actually. Let's go ahead, United Republic movement. Let's go ahead and support them in Chile. We're also going to, again, wait for the meeting with Chile so we can actually sign a trade contract with them, kind of get them on our side. The main goal for Chile is to actually build a naval base in the Pacific Ocean. That way we actually have some sort of access to the Pacific. If we can do that and also have sort of a land route to Chile through Bolivia, we really need to get Bolivia. Bolivia and Chile are going to be the main focuses in the next couple of episodes, and as well as Peru. Peru will definitely give us some easy access to the Pacific Ocean. Let's also go to Ecuador, try to get them to get a student exchange program with us. So they actually refused that. Let's go over to this meeting with Chile. Offer coffee, champagne, your country is lovely, and ask them to make an effort against climate change. Let's go ahead and go over here. Let's try to import something from them. If we can actually import something, it kind of shows initiative on our part. Okay, so we actually signed a export contract with Chile. They should actually boost our trade relations just a tiny bit more. I wanted to find something to import from Chile, but they actually didn't have a lot of products that I was really interested in. So hopefully this kind of works out. Maybe it'll kind of boost our relations just a tiny bit more. Let's go over to Chile, see what our economic relationship is with Chile. So we are -19 with them. We need to get that up to at least a positive 30 to 50 in order to sign any sort of free trade agreement or even anything of the like. However, the other way that we could do it is at least kind of intercede in our elections, kind of try to get a more right-wing party into power in Chile. If we can actually do that, that will help us out in getting just any political, economic, or military agreement with them in the future. So that's mainly what we're trying to do. Mainly, we're going to kind of copy the Colombia playbook, and we're going to kind of like spread it all over and we're going to spread it all along South America. So kind of like what the United States did back in like the 1960s. Colombia agrees to a potential partnership for the construction of a highway system, so this is really, really good. We're also going to go back to housing. We're going to see what we're doing over here, and I believe yet that construction project should be done. So we're going to go over to education, and we're going to go over to our drastically underfunded education budget priorities. We're going to go for supervision. We're going to go here, and we're gonna see what we can spend. We're gonna increase the funding a little bit, and we're gonna go over to taxes right after, and we're gonna pay for all of it by increasing some of the taxes. We're gonna go for aids and grants, and wow, 213 billion reais. We're already spending so much in our education system. No wonder we haven't done that much here, because it is so goddamn expensive. Wow. Backup classes. Can we go even higher than this? 47 billion student accommodation. Wow, we are gonna have to really reduce a lot of this, like 1 star at a time. 12 billion reais. What about here? 17 billion. Let's do it. I'm not gonna spend 200 billion reais on one time if we don't have the money for it, so we're gonna have to settle with that. Let's go ahead and go over to finance. We're gonna see what our growth rate is. It is going up. The stock market is also going up as well. And let's go over here and see what Parliament thinks of me increasing the financial transaction tax. Let's go ahead and increase that just a tiny bit. And we will also go over to the industrial pollution tax, and we will increase it by 0.5%. And we will also go over to the wealth tax and increase it to 9%. as well. So that will lower the deficit to a whopping 0.83%. This really helps us out in the future, and it really kills the jewelry industry from what I've noticed. I actually see that the jewelry industry is actually booming just a tiny bit, so we will actually see what the drastic effects are of the wealth tax on the jewelry industry and any other sectors as well. The only thing about the wealth tax that I've actually seen, I've actually been told by one of my subscribers, well, you know, you're doing capital flight. You're going to instigate so much capital flight, blah, 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 blah. I don't think there's a such thing as capital flight in Power and Revolution. So at least for the time being right now, we don't have to worry about that. So we can kind of use it as just more of a money-making tool. Let's go ahead and give 10 billion reais of relief to that forest fire, and the AIDS vaccine has been discovered in the United States as well. We also did increase some of the subsidies over to the industrial tab. We are going to be investing more in the manufacturing and producing our own product here in Brazil. So that is going to be another focus of this series, is to try and get things back on track. Brazil has been behind in terms of economic prosperity, and we are finally bringing economic prosperity back to Brazil. Hopefully, whenever voters go to the polls in 624 days, they will remember what Brazil has been through and what we have done to alleviate Brazil's hardships and bringing them back as a regional power in South America. All right, so a couple of things that just got done in Brazil. We are increasing the wealth tax to 10%. I think that's going to be the limit that we're going to use on the wealth tax. We're going to be garnering money through other means during this time now. And the other thing that we did is that we did increase the deforestation tax from 300 reais to 700 reais. So this is not much of a money-making tool. However, it is going to help us in terms of lowering deforestation in Brazil. We are aggressively tackling deforestation. We are also going to be increasing and fully funding the afforestation budgetary item in the environment tab, and we're going to go down and we're going to fund some nuclear threats real quick. And since we've been going through so many forest fires, we're going to increase that. We're going to get a bit, almost 20 billion reais worth of funding into environment. So this will help out in terms of helping the situation in Brazil. We don't want more forest fires, which will just cost even more than we would be just spending on the budgetary item as well. So it'll help us save money in the future. And the reforestation just kind of stops the deforestation of the Amazon rainforest. What a beautiful rainforest that we don't want to disappear. We want the rest of our generations that will live in the future to see the beauty of the Amazon rainforest. There are also a lot of uncontacted tribes that we want to keep hidden in the rainforest, and if we don't allow that to happen, then we are losing a lot of cultural heritage in Brazil that we don't want to lose. That is our policy for reforestation, and it will also help in terms of, let me actually go over to this, and we can actually see that our CO2 emissions are going down. So we actually were around 500 at the beginning of the game, and then now we are nearly at 399. We're at around 399. 74% of our emissions of 421 megatons worth of emissions, 74% of that is coming from the forestry sector or deforestation. Therefore, it is a good policy for us to fight deforestation by increasing that tax. We're going to try to get that to at least 1,000 reais. We need to also understand that we are an agriculture economy. A lot of our economy is derived off of the agricultural sector. We don't want to be hurting that sector as much. If we do see a major effect to our agricultural sector, we will wean back that tax and make sure that we are not aggressively trying to fight global warming, but then also hurting our food production sector at the same time. So it's kind of a balancing act that we need to figure out, but I think I'm on the right track for right now. So we can actually see that our COP set objectives is right around here. We're going to be at about 1 gigaton worth of CO2 by 2030, and we're going to be at carbon neutrality by 2050. We are halfway, we are completely ahead of our goals right now. We are observing that we aren't even going to be going anywhere close to 1 gigaton worth of CO2 emissions by 2030. We're actually going to be at half of that, more than half of that by 2030. So this is a major accomplishment in terms of fighting global warming for Brazil. This is a major achievement. We are going to continue to build renewable energy. We are going to be increasing our investment into nuclear power, and this will help us in the future. It will help our kids, it will help our grandkids, and eventually it'll help the Federative Republic achieve prosperity much faster than other third world nations, and then more. All right, we are rolling up to the end of the month, so we're going to go ahead and go to the next day and see what the debt payoff will be in this episode. Let's go ahead and go to the next day. Quarterly deficit covered by our Treasury Reserve. Last year's budget results were poor, indicates the deficit will be immediately covered by our Treasury Reserve, so we will not incur any new debts this quarter. That is really, really good. However, I am pretty disappointed that we were not able to accumulate more Treasury Reserve. So it is good that we did have Treasury Reserve left to cover our debts. But again, that is pretty disappointing that we were not able to basically get more, because I actually really wanted to get more. That way we can have more money to kind of like spend on these projects. We're still going to be building a lot of projects. However, I'm going to go ahead and end this episode right here. The past 2 episodes have actually been pretty kind of like a low energy PG. What's new? These past 2 episodes I actually made back to back. So the reason that you kind of see it's a little bit less dramatic, but the biggest thing, I mean, even though it's less dramatic, we are actually making some pretty good strides. We actually get Colombia finally on our side, so we definitely do have an ally in Brazil. And We are also signing more free trade agreements, so we actually expanded our influence with Colombia, with Argentina, and then as well, we are in a free trade agreement with the United States. We are going to expand our influence in this next episode after this. So I've actually made both of these episodes back to back, so that's I wanted to get these episodes out. That way you guys had something to watch, so I can make the political ideology video, because you guys have been wanting more episodes of Brazil, and I'm really excited that you guys really like this series so far, and I'm not planning on stopping anytime soon, so do look forward to more episodes of Brazil. We do have an election coming up in the next 557 days, and I have a poll that I actually took not too long ago. We're going to go over to head of state, look at the class Census Bureau poll, and we have a 45%. We actually made a coalition with the Democratic Right group. We could actually do a pretty good job in an election. So we are in a we are moving forward at a great pace for this series. I'm really excited to see what else we can do with Brazil. We are still developing Brazil. We are focusing a lot on its economy, trying to build up its economy and make it a formidable economic and regional power. And we are still kind of in the midst of doing a lot of that. That's why a lot of these early episodes, you're kind of seeing a lot of just kind of build up. It's a lot of build up before we really start getting into a lot of action, because I do want to kind of force my will on other nations. Guyana, for example, we could actually go after Suriname. We're gonna build an empire in Brazil and in South America. It's going to be a military economic hegemony that could rival the United States. We're gonna build puppet governments in some ways. And even though we may not invade some of these countries, they will be on our side in terms of geopolitics. This is a geopolitical series. This is us building a geopolitical empire. So do look forward to the next episodes of Brazil. I am almost halfway through making the tutorial you guys have been so eagerly waiting for. Look forward to that video. If you guys have not subscribed to the channel, go ahead and subscribe right now. Share the channel if you have not. I want to make sure that you guys know that I am doing a $100 giveaway at 10,000 subscribers. I am also doing a giveaway of Power and Revolution 2022 at 6,500 subscribers. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you are not subscribed. And again, I will be doing that giveaway very, very soon. Leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you are new. If you guys want to see more Brazil, I know I do. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Get us to 10,000 subscribers. Let's beat France in the war that we are in, and we will see who wins in the subscriber war. Leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. Thank you guys so much for watching, and take care.